So today I figured for the first video of Vlogmas, guys, I wasn't going to be too in-depth. I have a lot of video content that I'm going to be launching, guys, throughout this process. But what I wanted to do briefly was really just kind of give you guys some insight into what has happened, right? Because I know a lot of, I have people, guys, that that reach out to me and they say, hey man, are you gonna post any more content? Of you playing basketball? Like, I've been following your page. I'm playing basketball overseas. And so what do I mean? If you guys don't know, you may be coming to my page from Instagram right now, right? I post a lot of content on what I'm doing, the business that I've been building. Maybe you just come across my page and you're not sure, okay, what is it that I do? Who am I, right? For those of you guys that don't know, I actually started this channel a few years ago because I was a professional athlete at the time. So my background, guys, I come from Maryland. I'm raised 30 minutes right outside of DC. Guys, my dad was in the military. Like everybody in the DC area. My dad's from Memphis, Tennessee. He went into the Coast Guard at 18 years old. So I tell people all the time, I've seen enough Forrest Gump and Major Pain for a lifetime, right? And so it wasn't my route. For me, guys, I did play basketball like my entire life. I can remember playing basketball at like 4 years old, right? Early as I can remember. And so for me, guys, basketball was like everything. I played since I was young. I ended up doing the rec teams. I ended up playing AAU as well. And then I finally go and I'm playing middle school ball. And I'm at Arundel High School, guys, in Maryland. I'm at Arundel Middle School, in Maryland. And I have a choice. Do I go to Arundel High with the people that I'm comfortable with, or do I go over to this school called Archbishop Spalding, which at the time I knew nothing about the culture over there. I didn't know anything. I knew nobody. And only thing I did know is Rudy Gay used to go to that school, and it was a good chance for me to get some exposure when it comes to basketball. And so I went. It was a culture shock for me to go over to that school. Ended up starting as a freshman at that school, working my way through, actually playing some good time minutes as a sophomore. We were, guys, by the way, my first year in high school, our record was like 4-20 something. Like, it was terrible. Talk about a losing record, right? And so we ended up working our way up, getting to the point where we were in the semifinals my last year. And then since, I ended up leaving, I graduated, guys. I got a Division I scholarship to play basketball in college. I played at St. Francis University in Pennsylvania, right? Now, St. Francis University in Pennsylvania, I get there, and we're like 5-24 again, right? It's just like the luck of the draw, right? But, regardless, I knew I've been here before, right? I was like, I've been here before, man. We can figure it out. And so, I start there and we start building a culture. Shout out to Coach Krim, Rob Krim, one of the most phenomenal people and hearts, man, that I've ever met in my life. And so I go to Archbishop Spalding to, this is going to bloopers, right? To St. Francis University in the middle of the mountains, freezing cold, just there. And for me, guys, that was really my journey playing ball. I was always a guy that was like, I will outwork you. I'll get to the gym early. I will stay late. In high school, I ended up becoming an all-metro. And then when I got to college, had a rough time my first few years, just really figuring out my identity as a player. But I got to the position where my last year, I had a pretty good season. I end up doing a few different camps across the country, one in Vegas, one in Portsmouth, Virginia. And I get offered a chance to go down to South America and play professional basketball down there for 2 years, right? And so that was guys, that was something I always wanted to do, was play professional ball. I was living in Brazil for 2 years, playing for Campo Mourão. If you guys have seen any of the content that I posted years ago, this was like 3 years ago, right? Posted content of me working out, preparing for that season to go down to Brazil. And so, guys, I've been an athlete my entire life. That was an experience that for me, just transformed the way I see the world. I got a chance to learn a new language, culture, food, all that good stuff. But it also challenged me as a person. It just challenged me in so many different ways. I'm talking about living down there, not speaking the language, not making a lot of money, right? I just keep it fully transparent. You know, in different countries, guys, and this is one of the messages that I sent to a lot of athletes that were following me. In a lot of different countries out there, depending on the contract, it can be you can be in a position where you may be getting paid under the table or late payments. I remember being in the locker room right before a game and looking to, my boy Jordan at the time and Isaac and say, hey man, are we gonna play this game? Like what? Like, no, are we gonna play? We haven't. Banco do Brasil doesn't have any money in the account yet. Are we gonna play? Right? And that being said, guys, does that mean that overseas basketball is not a great option? No, guys. Anything in life that you go through, it's gonna be rough at the beginning, and I'll tell you guys that right now. And so I remember, guys, that was a position in my life where I was in a spot where I experiencing things I've never experienced before. Not sure if I'm gonna eat, like being, living in these different apartments and just figuring out life, right? I think for me, what ended up being a huge factor in my decision to come back home and really, really transition to the next phase of my life was really taking an internal audit, looking in the mirror and asking, hey, am I going to sacrifice and give everything that I can to build this career, this overseas career that is in front of me, right? And at the end of the day, to do anything great, it has to be something that is 100% in your heart, like that is, without a shadow of a doubt, that's what you want to do for the rest of your life. And guys, I'll tell you guys, and this is again a full a moment of transparency for me. I remember having a conversation with myself, looking in the mirror, and I asked, okay, is this what you want to do? Like, I played basketball, growing up, guys, and look, I'll tell you guys my growth since then to now, and I'll talk to you guys about what's transpired, but I truly believe that the words that you say, affirmations, everything that you put out into the world is super, super powerful. And the reason being, growing up as a kid, I realized I never said that I would play in the NBA. If anyone ever asked me, hey, what you think about the NBA? I would always defer. I would be like, maybe, but I know I'm gonna play pro. NBA, but I always told them I'm playing Division I basketball. I'm gonna play pro basketball. I never said NBA. Why? In retrospect, I look back now. At the time, it was a lack of belief. Right? Let's just be real. It was a lack of belief. I didn't truly believe that I could do it. I look back now, if I would have had a bigger vision for what I could accomplish, maybe I would have been in an environment where it was building that vision to make it to the league, it could have been a different story. But at the time, something in my heart told me that this is not the path that maybe it was God. Maybe God told me this is not the path that I see for myself. And so, long story short, guys, I end up coming back home. And I'm like, I'm toying with the idea, like, am I going to go back for a third year? I get offered by a team, my agent's in conversation with a team called Piñeros at the time. And I'm like, okay, am I going to go back? And I come back and I start working. Right? So, guys, I come back, I'm working, like, literally my schedule is like, wake up. So, shout out to 9450 Jamal Haywood in Baltimore, a guy who was like, when I talk about the intensity, that he trains is at a different level. Like anybody in the DMV area, if you're looking to take your game to the next level, Jamal helped me so much with my career coming out of college and going into professional ball. But I say that to say, I would get up, work out, get done, shoot some content, because at the time I was doing some, if you guys remember, I was doing like some video production. For those of you guys that follow me for a while, for those of you guys that were new, I was doing some video production as well. That's always been a passion of mine. And then I would get back to the gym, and then I was going to work. I was working, so then I started to work. I was working in IT for a little bit because that was the degree that I got when I was in school. I don't know, it's just like nothing ever like clicked. It was always like, hey, I'm like 99% in, I'm 80% in, right? And it wasn't until I go out to DC one day, y'all, and I have a conversation with a guy, and he's telling me his background, and he's working in financial services at the time, financial services, retirement planning, insurance, all this different stuff. And Guys, this is something that's never come across my mind, like ever. Like that's not even in the realm of any wheelhouse that you know what I'm saying. Like no one that I know does this. No one that I know is even an entrepreneur. Like I've known very few successful entrepreneurs. I didn't grow up around a business environment. A lot of my family and friends was like, hey, our career path is like go to school, get a degree, work your career, get the retirement, and that's a way of life, right? For me, for some reason, I don't know, I felt this pull like, hey, I want to do something maybe different. I'm not sure what. I'm kind of creative. I got a marketing degree. I'm definitely driven. Like if I feel like I can do something and I put my head to it, it's going to happen. Like anything that I have felt convicted on, like it will happen. I know it. And so long story short, guys, I have a conversation with this guy, right? This is at a moment where I knew I was looking for something like just bigger. I didn't know what it would be. I knew there was like I don't know. I felt like there was like a purpose on my life. I just wasn't sure what it was. And lo and behold, we sit down, have a conversation. Shout out to Alejandro Aguilar. And he blew me away. Blew me away with not just what the financial services industry could do for, not just what it could do for a person, a family, a community, but also the impact that an environment can have on somebody's mindset, right? Like, we say all the time, identity. What is identity, right? And identity is what you believe you are, like who you believe you are, what you believe you deserve. So think about it, guys. When I played basketball, my identity told me that I wasn't good enough to make it to the NBA, right? That's the identity that I held when I was playing ball. And so fast forward, I get introduced to the financial services industry. I'm 24 years old. At the time, guys, no idea what I was doing, working a job here and there, just like lost. I was, living at home, just like 2 degrees, 2 college degrees, professional athlete, living at home, just lost, figuring it out, right? And so I then go on this journey, guys, of personal development. I'm building a business. I'm around some very high level thinkers. I get introduced to, the conversations, the rooms that I've been in the last 3 years, guys, would blow your mind. And, I tell you guys this to say this. For me, the last 3 years has been such a eye-opening and transformational time in my life, and I would not be the person I was today if it wasn't for being an athlete, growing and learning competition and drive and persistence. And I also wouldn't be the person I was today if I was not introduced to an environment that I was not ready for. But I wasn't ready for a change like I made, but there was a pull, there was something there, some calling on my life that I felt that there was a bigger purpose for me. And so, guys, long story short, I ended up, getting started in the financial services industry, starting to build an agency across the country. I was working at the time, building a business part-time, so it wasn't overnight. It took me about 8 months to be able to walk away from that job. And I remember like being at work and just like, man, here I was, an athlete my whole life. Now I'm working at this job and I'm like, I can't do this forever, man. Like there's something bigger out there for me. And fast forward, guys, 3 years later, I'm actually an equity owner of one of the fastest growing fintech companies in the country. Now I'm 27 years old. I've got agents working with me in about 25 different states across the country. And we're just getting started, guys. That's what's cool. I'm in business with my brother, him and his wife. She was able to walk away from her job. Been able to travel my mom to places like Hawaii and, all these different things that have been happening. I think more importantly for me, I'm in a position now where I understand the value of going after a purpose and how much bigger purpose is than just money. I've got agents across the country, guys, that want to open up nonprofits, homeless shelters, children's homes. We got agents that live that don't live, that are in America, but their families live back home in Nigeria and Gabon and Guinea and Salvador. And so we got people that are sending money back home in order to make an impact. And so it's been an incredible experience, guys. The journey it was a little gap, right? We had a little gap from playing because, I think that time for me it was a rebuilding my identity. Guys, I'll tell you this, I'll leave you guys with this because I'm excited for Vlogmas to start. I wanted to shoot a quick intro video, guys, to just let you guys know like where I'm at, what I'm doing, and what's to come here in the future, guys. But what I'll tell you is this: whether it be military, maybe you're a military service member, maybe you are an athlete, I don't know, whatever you do, guys, one mistake I see people making, is a mistake I made as well, is we tie our identity to our profession or to our degree. Like, so for example, you go to med school and you're studying your MCATs, right? And you tie your identity to becoming a doctor. You tie your identity to becoming a lawyer. A lot of athletes, we tie our identity to being an athlete, military. And so what happens is this: when that sport or when that, that career, let's say it ends short, let's say it's taken from you, or let's say it just doesn't go the way you want, what happens is sometimes we can find ourselves lost in that old identity, and it can be hard to find a new identity. But one thing that I've learned, guys, and one thing that's been big in my life since leaving basketball has been my faith in God, guys, because I understand that my identity is not tied to anything, that's material. My identity is not tied to a sport. It's not tied to a profession. It's not tied to career. My identity is tied to my purpose, and my purpose is making an impact on the lives around me. And so that is why this Christmas, guys, I want to go ahead and launch this Vlogmas, guys. I wanted to use this as a launching point to relaunch, guys, my YouTube channel. One that, has been a couple different places. It's gotten a chance to see, part of my progression as an athlete, and then, walking away from basketball, getting started in business. And now, guys, as I have really begun to mature as an entrepreneur, and I got a long way to go, trust me, a long way to go. But I think it was a good time to relaunch this channel, guys. So again, if you saw the first video I posted a few hours ago, guys, be on the lookout. This is 25 days of Vlogmas, of Christmas, guys. A lot of different content. And I'm going to talk about the story. Like, this was, quick story just about like how things have transitioned. But I'm going to kind of show you guys what the last 3 years have been like, and the next progression, guys, in my life and the lives of the people that are being impacted around me. So I hope you guys are excited, or are as excited for December as I am. And let's prepare, guys, let's prepare and get ourselves ready for a fantastic holiday season, an exciting Christmas. Guys, through this up and down, right, I remember being in a place where Christmas was not exciting for me because I didn't have it. Just got back from playing, no money saved up. And so I'm in a position now where I'm excited for Christmas, and I'm hoping, guys, that as we go through Vlogmas, as we go through December, I can kind of leave you guys with a piece of information here or there that can give you some insight into, what it was like to transition and what it was like to put yourself in a position to become the next version of you. So with that being said, guys, you guys have a great December, and I look forward, guys, tomorrow, episode 2 of Vlogmas coming to you. Go ahead, guys. Yep, do it. Send it, share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Let your people know that Vlogmas has begun. Talk soon. Bye-bye.